and welcome back. For our first conversation this morning, we have been joined in studio by the organizers of ABDISA. And if you're wondering what ABDISA is, it's an acronym for Another Beautiful Day in San Antonio. In studio with us this morning is Oscar Mai. He is a hoghead dancer for Another Beautiful Day in San Antonio. Good morning.
Good morning.
And Mr. Mai is joined by Rene Mai, who is the key organizer of Another Day in San Antonio. Good morning, Rene and Oscar. And
Good
you
morning.
guys have also been joined by Lithia Mai, but we're going to be joining her just in a few with Sabrina. Let's begin by talking about the preservation of the Yucatec Maya culture. You guys are from the Cayo district.
Cayo district, yes, that's
And
correct.
it's one of several communities that are of Yucatecan heritage, if I could describe it as such.
That's correct.
How
Yep.
do we keep this strong part of our Belizean identity going?
Okay, so we come from a Yucatec Maya community, San Antonio. I myself am a Yucatec, my brother also, and we're trying to, the Yucatec language is slowly disappearing, and we saw the need to say that we want to preserve the Yucatec Maya, and we want to expose our community, San Antonio village, so that people is aware that what San Antonio has to offer. They might know San Antonio, they might pass through, maybe going to Caracol and so, but they don't know that it's a Yucatec Maya community. So in 2018, we formed a committee called ABDISA, Another Beautiful Day in San Antonio. And we decided that, okay, we're going to do an event that promotes the Yucatec Maya culture. And that is where, this is the event that we're planning this Sunday here, June 29th, where we're going to have a variety of activities, mainly to promote the Yucatec Maya culture in terms, every year we have a theme. This year the theme is language, culture, and food. And we decided food because the Yucatec Maya food is our food that are disappearing. Then that yes, maybe we have seen it, we have ate it somewhere, but we don't know the real or the origin of it, where it comes from, or what it entails. So that is the idea of preserving the Yucatec Maya.
When you look at Belize's rich cultural tapestry, right? I think as a kid I was always taught that you have among the Mayas, I should say, you have the Yucatec, you have the Mopan, and the Quechua, right? What would you say is unique and distinct to the Yucatec Maya experience as opposed to Mopan and Quechua?
I think one of it is the language, and also the blending of the two. I would say two similar Maya language, which the Quechua on a whole it's on its own, and then it's the Maya as well. But then the Maya each speak, it's different. Now the Mopan and the Yucatec, there are some words in Mopan that we can actually use in Yucatec. So the uniqueness of the Yucatec is that we could understand two languages, and at the same time a uniqueness with the food. And in our own is that we try, like for example, we preserve food. Like growing up, we didn't have no lighting, no refrigerator, but we have to survive. So what we do is that we have used a lot of fire hut, right? In the fire hut we used to preserve the corn for planting. We used to preserve the meat, and you could use it like a refrigerator, coal. We use the fire hardware, the smoke itself would preserve the seed, and also would preserve food for us that we would want to, like a typical Sunday lunch. We want meat, but meat doesn't last that long, and so we preserve it in the fire heart. So our uniqueness is preservation as to and the take care of our food, which is important for us.
So it is interesting that you guys formed this movement, if I could describe it as such, where you're promoting the preservation of the Yucatec Maya. Do you find that perhaps in the grand scheme of things, when we look at Belize as a melting pot and all of these races and ethnicities, that the Yucatec Maya is perhaps being overlooked as opposed to any other culture or any other race of people in this country?
We don't say they're being overlooked, but we can say that maybe a lot of people are not aware that we exist. Maybe they're not aware that it's a language, because many can think, okay, Maya is just Maya.
Yeah.
That now that we want to extend it further and say, okay, there's a Yucatec Maya, no, there's a Mopan Maya, there's a Quechua Maya. So I think it's just the promotion, the awareness that we bring about, that people are aware that we are Yucatec Mayas.
I think for me, I think one of the most interesting developments over the past 15 or so years, and maybe I'm being a bit liberal when I say 15, is the return and the development of Pok-Tapok, right? As a sport played by the ancient Mayas, right?
Correct.
Now we have brought it back, and it's becoming a thing in Belize, and it's becoming a thing across the region.
Yes.
And for some reason, it may not necessarily be associated solely with the Yucatec Mayas. Maybe it's across the Maya cosmology, if I could use that description, right? But it would seem as if though it's the Yucatec that are front and center of its revival. I say that because I think about what's happening in northern Belize.
Yes.
I think about what's happening in western Belize in the Cayo district as well. And the sport seems to be a prominent part of being able to retrieve and put forward your cultural identity. Let's talk a bit about that.
When it comes to that, then yeah, like the football, was a Pok-Tapok was a famous game, and in the north, during the course of the festivity, the Pok-Tapok was a great part of the activity in the village. In the feast they're going to have this Sunday, they traveled from up north, go to San Antonio, where they showcase the talent, and actually they were trying to get a team, to form a team to join the Pok-Tapok, to play the Pok-Tapok, to revive the culture.
Yeah.
And so some kids are, our younger kids are more interested in that. They wanted to know more about that. And also, I would say it's something that the Yucatec is forefront, is trying to revive again. And we, on the other hand, we're trying to revive the more traditional, with the dances, the food, to try bring back the food. Because right now, as kids are growing, they say, oh, they don't want to eat corn tortilla, they don't want to eat the basic. Right? They want fried chicken, they want this. So we're trying to show them, no, we could, this is something nice that our ancestors gave us, and we try to bring it back to you guys so that you can enjoy the uniqueness of it, that this you won't get anywhere at home.
And then also to add to that, on Sunday we'll be having some traditional games, and in that game comes the Pok-Tapok. Now we have we have implemented it so that people not only can watch the Pok-Tapok, because we bring the group from up north and they present us the Pok-Tapok. Now on Sunday you will get the chance to play the Pok-Tapok.
Wow.
So we have like a small setting where we created it, and we created the ball also. So you can form teams of pairs, both, and then each gets a chance to enter the ball, hitting the ball only with the assigned body parts.
Yeah.
And once you enter that ball, you get a chance to win cash prizes.
Wow.
So the first team that enters the ball gets $100 cash prize.
Well, I'll have our viewers know it is no easy feat.
Yeah.
Yes, it's not.
To get a ball in the hole with your hip alone.
Yeah. Last year we tried and nobody went away with the cash prize, so we're bringing it back again.
But
So
I
you
have to
get-
make the cash prize more attractive.
Yeah.
Yes. So, okay, let's talk a bit about the language, because that's an essential part. Like if you want to learn about a people, I think the two best approaches, food, music, language, right? I think language is the most difficult of those three.
Yeah.
It's easier for you to taste something and say, hey, I could identify with this particular group of people, or listen to something and say, yes, I could, vibe with that, so to speak. But learning the language and the syllables and the pronunciation and what have you proves to be a bit more difficult. Let's talk about language and being able to perhaps preserve the idea of speaking in the Yucatec tongue.
Yeah, in that regards, you have to have a tongue twister, because different pronunciations, different words would sound similar, but it just you have to do the sound to make it sound to the expression, right? Like for example, you would say tan. Tan means ashes, and an means stark.
Okay.
So you see, it's
Yes.
the accent
The accent in the language.
The real twist to have the pronounce it better. So the language is something that growing up, our parents amongst we were talking about it, but now we have a blending culture. We have mestizo, we have different culture, and now people are before it's within the culture. People would get married, would know that they have different people, mostly Spanish. Growing up our kids, that's a bit of a challenge, right? To teach our kids because your spouse doesn't speak Maya that fluent, or doesn't have the idea of speaking Maya. So it would kind of be a kind of hard task to teach your kids.
Yeah.
Some words they would pick up, and some words they would understand, but it's just the fluency of it. It's what gets them to talk it. It's kind of different. But
You know what's interesting? Because to an extent, perhaps it's the same challenge that we would face as Garifuna and Creole, where you have Maya and Mestizo, right? So in some cases where our children do not necessarily understand or are not necessarily fluent in speaking Garifuna, it's easier for them to go Creole because that's the nearest culture or ethnicity to it, right? And I'm thinking perhaps in case of the Mayas, depending on where you live and what have you, it's probably easier to go from Maya to Mestizo to Spanish if you're in that kind of a setting, right? Okay, let's go back a bit here and talk about the music. We're going to get into the food shortly. We have a full display, but let's talk about the music. Is there anything that is standout when it comes to any other music that is performed within the Maya culture?
The main one is the marimba, the marimba music, and on Sunday people will get the chance to see the live marimba, the actual marimba played with the wood sticks, and people actually playing the marimba. So I think what mainly stands out of the Yucatec Maya is the marimba music. And we, like for example, we have traditional dances. We'll be displaying two on Sunday, which is the dance of La Chatona.
Okay.
I think La Chatona is, people don't, have heard it, but don't know about the dance or the existence of the La Chatona. So on Sunday, people will get the chance to listen to the history of La Chatona, how La Chatona originated, and the dance behind that, and also the marimba music with the dance La Chatona. And then we also have here Oscar Mai. He does the haghead dance every year.
I was just about to go there next.
So he dances it with marimba music also. So in essence, the marimba music is being played, and there's different sounds to it, and we dance with the marimba music.
Okay, so Oscar, explain to me what is the significance of the hoghead dance?
Well, the hoghead dance is it's a dance of prosperity, right? And then you would say why the hoghead, right? If you have eaten pebil or what's that, right? With a piece of meat you could feed a lot of people, right? Same thing with the hoghead. The tradition is that the hoghead it's doing a pebil, it's smoke underground, and then after the dance, what they do, we have a traditional dish called pol, right? Pol, it's after doing all of that, and after the traditional dance, back then our ancestors used to they would shred all the head into pieces, right? And in that same dish they would distribute it among the people with corn tortilla. So the head would feed about easily 50 100 people.
Wow.
Right? So that's why they say it's a dance of prosperity. Because
indeed,
from one head you could feed a lot, and with that then now you blessed a lot of people. And right, so once you have the dance, it promotes that. And with a pig you could do a lot of things.
Definitely. No part of the pig waste.
Longanisa, smoked meat, pibil, everything. So it's a dance. And during that dance, you listen to the marimba, you get into the rhythm, you make the music flow through you, and you just got the dance. And this year, no, it's something special for me because it's not only me dancing, but my kids also will be joining in this dance for the first time. So that is something that.
So that is where the culture continues,
Yes,
because now you're
continuity.
passing it down to the younger
Yes,
generation,
yes.
and that is what we want. We want to expose the younger generation to not to be ashamed of the Yucatec Maya culture, but not to embrace it and make it on their own and call themselves, okay, I'm a Yucatec Maya now, to know their identity.
Excellent. So, speaking about food, though, we're going to go over to Sabrina, who's joined by Lithia, and they're going to be talking about the food display and what you guys can look forward to if you choose to attend the event that's coming up this weekend. Sab?
All right, and really this is only the tip of the iceberg of what you can expect when you stop in at a beautiful day in San Antonio. I have 2 or 3 really types of foods here on display. One of them I can pronounce. I mean, this is corn tortilla, homemade corn tortilla, but this over here is pork meat and it's called salado.
Salado, yeah.
Salado. And then there's a tomato mixture here with, I understand, pumpkin seeds in it. What's the name of this? Can we get you? Say it again.
Sikil ak,
Sikil pak. Sikil pak.
with the accent ak,
With the
tomato.
you have
It's,
to say it.
It's ground pepitos.
Ah.
It's ground pepitos mixed with tomato.
Tomato.
Ah, and then it gives you this mixture
And
here.
not only that, but the tomato is roasted tomatoes. So you need to, when you're doing it on the fire heart, you throw the tomatoes inside the coal,
Smells good.
and it gets like really roasted. And then you can mash it, and then add the grounded pepitos in
So
it.
you shall come if we make it together. But I am excited to try these here. Talk about the first thing on display, which is the salado.
Salado, yes. This is a salado where you will cut a piece of meat. You either want it long or short so that you can hang over the fire heart. This is cooked with only meat. With only smoke, I mean. You smoke it until you want it. You can hang it for 2 days. It depends all how you want.
Wow, 2 days.
Yeah.
So it's literally smoked and it only
Smoked.
has salt as the
Yes,
seasoning.
only salt as a seasoning.
How do you eat this? Do you eat that separately or do you pair it with something else?
No, you can pair with beans, but we usually eat it with tortilla, with corn tortilla. That is like the barbecue for the Mayan, for example. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. The barbecue for the Maya.
Yeah.
All right, and you also brought your homemade corn
Yes,
tortilla
homemade
as
corn
well.
tortillas.
I mean, come on, we can't come here with store-bought corn tortilla.
No,
Did you make this yourself?
Yes, I make them
fantastic.
myself.
They look wonderful. All right, moving things along. You actually told me that a popular snack within your culture is corn tortilla
with cohoon oil.
cohoon oil.
You put the cohoon oil on top of the corn tortilla, and then you put some salt, and that is like a snack.
That is so interesting. Can I try that?
Yeah,
this
sure,
morning?
sure, you
Okay.
can, go ahead.
All right. So I have my corn tortilla. You go about, and it's warm still, guys. You go
put-
about. How
you
much
put-
of the oil do you put?
However you want.
Okay, so I'll
How
only
much you want.
graze it.
Yes.
Okay, I feel like.
And
that
then you
makes sense.
sprinkle a little bit of salt.
And then you sprinkle some salt.
Yeah. And you try it.
Okay, I'm gonna roll her up.
How is it?
I can't tell. I taste the salt. I mean, this is great homemade corn tortilla. I love corn anything. But it's interesting. You also taste the cohoon oil.
Yeah.
That's good there. I mean, anybody that loves quality oil, you'll taste that. Let's talk about this here.
So this is sikilipak, which is made from tomato. You roast the tomato on the same, for example, when we did this, we smoked the tomato at the same time. And then you mash the tomato until you get this consistency, and you add onion, you add the pumpkin seed. When you had to grind the pumpkin seed until it stays like, for example, like the salt. You add it how much you want, and then you season it with the salt, and that's it. And you put some cilantro, and that's it. You can try it with the tortilla also.
Pumpkin seeds, what we also call here in Belize pepitos.
Yes.
Is this a popular type of ingredient that you'd find in foods?
Yeah, for example, in this, yes, it's a popular one because you need this to have this.
Oh, okay. And Do we pair all of this together to make like a taco?
Yeah.
Do we call it a taco?
Yeah, you can call it a taco, yes.
Okay, so this is just one of the meals that will be
Yeah,
available.
that will be available. And
What are some of the other foods that
we would have the local chicken escabeche, and we will have the toxel, which is toxel is a food that's traditionally done, but now in these days the food is going like used to scarce. So they're bringing back that is beans cooked with well, you could say a piece of stone, but it's a special piece of stone. You put in the beans until the beans cook, and it gives it a different flavor. So that we will have that on Sunday also.
Lithia, you clearly come from a family that has embraced your culture.
Yeah.
But for you, is this something that is deeper than just this one activity? Is it important that people in your community, children coming up, also recognize the importance of cultural preservation?
Yeah, it's important. For example, my parents still speak this Yucatec Maya language. So now what we're doing is we're teaching my nieces and nephews to speak the language. And also as how my brother said, he's gonna dance with his kids. So that's a tradition passed from parents to kids so that they can continue doing it.
Yeah, your brother also spoke about some of the younger generations not being very familiar with traditional foods.
Yeah.
Can you speak about that? I mean, how are you guys working to ensure that the younger generation recognize what are native to them food-wise?
Yeah, for example, in our house, we still do the salado, we do the escabeche, and we do this. But for example, for the group, we're preserving it. We had niche over a couple weeks ago. We're doing the preservation we're videotaping the food that's going like scarce, and we're trying to bring it back, the food. We're trying to film the process of doing such food.
All right. Well, I got to try the salado, but I will save some for Isani. Remind us again of the date, location, and how we can come out.
So you can come out to San Antonio, Cayo on June 29th, which is on Sunday. We're going to start from 8 a.m. until 5. We're going to have several foods, games. We're going to have traditional dances, and we also have many booths on display.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Lithia. And we wish you guys all the best. The food tastes great. I'm going to dive in a little bit later on. But we do got to take a quick break. Don't go anywhere, though, because when we come back, we are going to be taking a closer look at the art of archery. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.